How we doing, everybody? And welcome in to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Monday, a fantastic Monday, August 12th, a great Monday here in the great state of Wisconsin, or wherever you are tuning in today. Great weekend. Spent it down at a local fair down there, took the horses down there, everything like that with my uncle. Great weekend. Great weekend of just hanging out. You know, a little bit of work here and there, but mainly just hanging out, right? Too many beers. That's what they always tell me. Too many beers. You feel it when you have to go back to work on Monday. But other than that, a great weekend in its own right. The Brewers win another series. I want to get into the Brewers a little bit today. Packers opened up first preseason game. We saw the offense, the number one offense for a little bit, right? I mean, it was quick. It was there, and then it was over, right? We didn't get to see much out of them there, but it was an impressive, I guess. It was quick, a quick first drive for the offense. So I want to get into the Packers preseason, some takeaways, a little bit of the things that we saw in that opening game against the Browns there for the preseason. And kind of a shorter day. Autumn is not with us today, right? Autumn's not with us. Like I said, long weekend at the fair. She's grocery shopping. So not able to jump on today here, right? But we got a good show. Not a lot to get into, but a good show today. Right away, the men's Olympics team, they win gold. They beat France. Great game. Steph Curry plays just fantastic. There down the stretch. And like Anthony Edwards said, it took him a while, but he finally showed up in the last three games, right? It really did seem like that. Steph wasn't really doing Steph things up until those last three games. And against France, he went on a burner to end that one, and the United States wins the gold, and that was fantastic to see for the men's team. That was a tight one, right? And then the women's, they had trouble with France, too, in their side, in the women's side of the Olympics, had some real problems with France there, and actually had to come back and win that one. So France causing some troubles for the United States both ways, but the United States ends up winning the gold in both. That's going to be something Autumn's going to have to get into her tidbits here tomorrow, is gold medals, who won the medals, everything like that. Who won the ping pong? I don't know who won table tennis, right? That's the most important thing, and the most important sport in the Olympics is the table tennis. Who won the table tennis? I don't know. I don't remember seeing anybody out of that. But I want to get into right away. Let's look at this Packers game. Packers-Browns. 23-10 was the final score in that one. Nobody really, the final score doesn't really mean that much. It's preseason. Great. 23-10. It's always great to win. It's always great to see a win, but it's the preseason, so we can only get into it so far. Looking at some of the box score numbers, just coming out of this one, Sean Clifford did play the majority of it after Love came out. 10 for 19, 111 yards. He had no touchdowns on the game, took a sack. Not a bad day for Sean Clifford. It was impressive. He had a good 2-minute drill right down the stretch there before the half. He was able to get them within field goal range, and they were able to kick a field goal. So I was impressed by that with Sean Clifford. Clifford didn't play bad. The whole second unit, it took them a little bit to get going, but once they got going, then it looked good, right? The offensive line, the second string offensive line, I thought that was the big thing, was when you watch them guys, it took them a little bit for those guys to kind of settle into it there. It was Dillard was in there at left tackle. Royce Newman, Ryan, Monk, and Telford were all in there on that one. It took them a little bit to settle into the game. Once they all settled in and they kind of got it going there, Emmanuel Wilson, you could tell how much it benefited him, because Emmanuel Wilson in this game, he goes 13 carries for 67 yards and a touchdown, a couple of impressive runs there for Emmanuel Wilson. The big thing we saw was his, not just his burst of speed, but his playmaking ability when he gets the ball out there. And it kind of, honestly, I don't know, truthfully, if you're going to need A.J. Dillon. I'm going to be honest with you. Josh Jacobs is Aaron Jones was more of the side-to-side guy, whereas A.J. Dillon was more of your bruiser. Josh Jacobs is both, right? Josh Jacobs is an all-around back, and with Emmanuel Wilson, plus now you have Lloyd. Lloyd was banged up in this one. He's been dealing with that He had that hip injury for the first week of training camp, and now he came out with a hamstring injury there in the third quarter of this game. So he was battling it a little bit, doing his thing. But those two looked impressive. I'm not going to say that, getting rid of Dillon's going to be easy for some fans because some fans do enjoy A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon has lost his step. It looked like in training camp, he did look like he was gaining a little bit. It kind of looked like when he got in game speed, it wasn't there. It wasn't the same. So A.J. Dillon did look a little bit rough. And if you could, I don't, the thing with it is, I don't know who you find as a trade partner. Like, what are they going to give you? They're going to give you a pick, right? Not a very good pick you're going to get out of A.J. Dillon. So that would be the only thing I look at with that situation. I just don't know where, honestly, where you truthfully need A.J. Dillon, right? He's like you could maybe use him if they wanted to go into an I, right? If you wanted to have that kind of set, or offset I with a fullback, if you wanted to have a fullback, maybe A.J. Dillon could be your fullback in that situation. Outside of that, for just a back, he doesn't have that burst of speed for me that I would want. I think he's going to take playing time away from guys like Lloyd and Emmanuel Wilson if you keep him in there. So I don't know. It's a tough situation. Like I said, I just don't know what you get for him if you do choose to trade him, right? Try to find a trade. Who's going to trade for A.J. Dillon? Who's going to give up a decent pick for A.J. Dillon? I don't think anybody. So do you take what you can get and just run with it? How do you work that situation? I think that's something the Packers will have to decide. I think they're truthfully going to do what's best, right? And if Emmanuel Wilson, if they feel like he's going to be the best number 2 back, Wilson's going to be the guy. And if they think Lloyd's going to be up there, I think Lloyd's going to need the snaps. A.J. Dillon might take a back seat. I don't know. If you want to use some certain sets with him, maybe like a jumbo package or something where he's in there as you have him in there as a fullback or something like that. I don't know if you could transition him to a fullback, to be honest with you. I don't think he has that same ability there, but I don't know. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot for Green Bay to be in with him. So, looking at the offense outside of that, we didn't see this. The main guys for too long because we did see Jordan Love hook up with Dontavian Wicks early in this one. Just cooked him. That safety there for a 65-yard touchdown. Outside of that, nobody else really making the stat book in this one. Grant Dubose, though, he had a pretty good game. 5 receptions for 66 yards, and his long was 23 there on 6 targets. Not a bad day out of Grant there. Like I said, Wicks with that 1 catch. Joel Wilson had 3 catches for 30 yards. Julian Hicks, 1 catch. Malik Heath had 2 catches for 22. Bo Melt, 1 for 12. Marshawn Lloyd, 1 for 1. Not anything crazy in its own right. We did see Josh Jacobs. That was a guy I did not expect. I did not think that he would play in this one just because of injury and everything, but he was out there right away. 1 carry, 7 yards for him. Not bad. He had the 1 carry. Then there was the pass to him that went for -2 yards, and then we had the 65-yard bomb to Dontavian Wicks, and that was his day. That was the day right there. Outside of that, like I said, Emmanuel Wilson had a great day. Marshawn Lloyd, 1 carry for 8 yards. Didn't get a lot of action in this one. Had a little bit in the passing game. Like I said there, he had 1 catch on this game, but not a whole lot to sniff about on that one there. Looking at the defense for Green Bay, I thought we saw some good things out of the defense there. Leading in tackles, Evan Williams had a good game. 6 tackles, 6 solo tackles in this one. Welch had 6 tackles, 5 of them being solos there. Isaiah McDuffie, 4 tackles, 4 of them being solo. Lucas Van Ness, I thought he looked good. I thought Lucas Van Ness showed a little bit more on that defensive line, working his way through, being patient out there, reading the run, and then finding his hole, finding his ability to get through his blocker. And he had 3 tackles in this one. Zane Anderson with 3. Outside of that, we saw a little bit. We saw some of the starters out there who you would expect to see as starters there. We saw Keyshawn Nixon in this one. Bullard did play in this one. 3 tackles, 2 of them being solo. Outside of that, Lucas Van Ness had a sack. Wooden had a sack. Colby Wooden. I've been waiting to see a little bit more out of Colby Wooden. Last season, just coming into it, and now this season, hopefully see more great things moving forward there. Just trying to find all the inactives for this one. There was quite a few heading into this one. Right here. Does look like Jair Alexander. He was inactive for that game. So was Carrington Valentine. Zach Tom did not play in this one. Jordan Morgan did not play. Tucker Kraft did not play. Edgerrin Cooper did not play in this one. So those are some of the bigger names that did not play in this one in the first preseason matchup here. So some of the takeaways from this one, and I think these were a couple of what a lot of people had out there. The offense. It wasn't the number one offense. We didn't see them a lot, but it was an effective first drive, right? That's all you can say. It was an effective first drive. It was a great play that was drawn up there in that situation. One-on-one with Wicks there, ran a great route, lulled that safety to sleep there at the top of that route, like Jordan Love said, went right past him there, and I think it showed a lot of the accuracy of Jordan Love's deep ball in that one. So we didn't see a lot out of Jordan Love, but we saw what we wanted to see, right? The deep ball, being accurate with it, being on time with it. It was right in stride. It was beautiful. Dontavian Wicks didn't have to slow down, caught it in stride, kept on going. That's something that I wanted to see out of Love, because last year I thought there was some, and you're going to have them, but some of his deep balls just seemed like they were the floaters. They didn't seem like guys were able to catch them on the run, and that was something I wanted to see. I wanted to see Love make that throw, right? Because, the only thing that I said against Love last season was, when he was on that hot streak, it was like he was floating the ball out there, and it seemed dangerous, right? I remember that one against the Chiefs where he floated that one up to Dobbs. And there's no other way you get that ball in there, right? No other way you get that ball in there. But that was one where I was like, that was kind of floater, right? You have those floaters, dangerous floaters. And I wanted to see him make some throws where it's in stride, on target, on time, looks beautiful. That's what I saw. And that's all I needed to see. That was the biggest thing I wanted to see, was that. Orchestrating a drive, hitting the route when it's there. He hit it when it was there. That was great. That was great out of Love. So, short drive, but effective. That's all you can say. Caleb Jones, I thought he looked solid. I thought he looked solid in this one, in pass protection. So did Sean Ryan. I thought he looked good at center in this one, and he was a very good run blocker. He's a very good run blocker. This one, I think he needs to be better in the pass protection game, but run blocking, Sean Ryan looked good in this one. Grant Dubose, like I said, this guy played very well, and he shows a lot of poise. For a wide out there. So I think it's going to be very hard for Green Bay to try and say, like, hey, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make the roster. It's going to be very hard for him. So I think it's going to be something to watch there. Sean Clifford, I thought he struggled early, but I thought he found it. And I think that's something that we wanted to see out of Sean Clifford. You need to have a solid backup, right? Nobody really thinks about it. They're like, I just want to see Jordan Love do good. I want to see the offense. You got to be ready just in case, right? We've seen Aaron Rodgers leave games in the past where it was early in a game and he did come back, right? We remember that game against the Bears. But he's left games. He's left, had a couple starts that he didn't make because he was injured. And we saw like Matt Flynn, right? So you want to have a good backup who can step in if needed. Sean Clifford, I thought, stepped up later in this one. I thought early on he did look like he was, I don't know if you'd call it nervous, but looked solid. The offensive line definitely settling into this game helped. So did Emmanuel Wilson doing his thing in the backfield. I thought that really helped out Clifford there. Michael Pratt did look efficient, did look good. He looked good in his first appearance there. Like I said, it was very helpful to have Wilson in there, but Pratt looked good. Pratt looked good in this one. I thought the Packers defense, all in all, looked good in this one. From second string to the first string, I thought they looked solid in this one. In this one, they did well controlling the offensive line, controlling the line of scrimmage, and I thought they did well getting into the backfield and getting after these Browns quarterbacks, right? So I thought that was a great thing to see there. Looking at the safeties, like I was talking about before in the box score, Evan Williams looked good in this one, forced a fumble in this, in In training camp, he looked good. I mean, he's forced fumbles in training camp. He's had, I believe, like 4 or 5 interceptions in training camp, so he's looked good there. And he looked good in this one. I thought he looked good in this one. Bullard flying around, making tackles in this one too. Both them guys getting after it. I thought that was great. And we saw Bullard get the start next to Xavier McKinney, and that's something we could see. That's something we could see all year long. That's something we could see all year long. So great to see those two both out there. I mean, looking at Williams as a whole, like Matt LaFleur said, you know, he talked about, he said, I thought he played physical too, and I thought that was, whether it was him, whether it was Bullard, Anthony Johnson, Zane Anderson, Benny Sapp had a physical play. Like, I thought all of our safeties came and were physical today. And that's what we need to see from those guys. Cole was out there, so I thought all those guys showed some physicality that we desperately need on the back end. So good news, good words there from Matt LaFleur about this safety room, which is true. You need to have a solid back end to your defense, right? Some guys who are able to fly around, make tackles, that's the last line of defense, right? Everybody knows that's the last line of defense. You got to have some solid guys back there. So love to see that there. Eric Stokes, I thought it was a solid outing for Eric Stokes. Wasn't targeted at all in coverage. I mean, nobody really went after him. So he had, I mean, Halfley's talked about it, complimenting Stokes on his preseason that he's put together, and he's done well in the run game. So Stokes has looked good. Hopefully, we see some more out of Eric Stokes. He can stay healthy, and we can finally see Eric Stokes get some playing time coming up this season here. Anders Carlson, Greg Joseph, they alternated there. Field goals, extra point attempts. Looks like they both had 1 extra point attempt. And then Carlson did hit one from 46 and 33. Joseph hit one from 35. I believe last season when we were talking, I think, if I recall right, Anders Carlson's biggest problem was like in the 40 range. Anything above 50, he was fine. He got in the 40 range, and that's where he struggled. He was like 4 for 8 there. From like 44 to 48 or 44 to 50, he was like 4 for 8 in that range. So hopefully good news there. Corey Valentine was the 4th cornerback behind Alexander Stokes and Keyshawn Nixon, with Valentine out, which has been the case during training camp. When it comes down to the final roster spot, special teams play a big factor, and that's an area Rochelle has been proven in that room there. Kalen King continues to showcase what he's been doing physically. I mean, he's a physical presence there in the cornerback position. King versus Rochelle will be a good competition for that 6th cornerback spot. So you're kind of expecting it's going to be Valentine, Alexander, Stokes, Nixon, and then whenever we do see Carrington Valentine come back, and then Kalen King will probably be in there at some point, I would assume. And then you're going to see, like I said, King and Rochelle going to be battling out. You got to think of special teams in the moment is the big thing you got to be watching for there. Like I talked about, Van Ness was good in this one. I thought he played very well. He put a lot of pressure in that backfield along with Devontae Wyatt. I thought that was great things to see there. And Daniel Whelan did his job punting. Great job for him there. Outside of that, that was about all the takeaways that I had coming out of this one. Kickers look good. Defensive fronts look good. I mean, it was just all in all, a good weekend. All in all, a good weekend of a good first showcase for this young Packers team. This very young Packers team. Good first showcase for them. And, I mean, we didn't get to see the offense for a lot, right? We didn't get to see them for a lot of time, but an effective first drive. I would expect we're going to see the number ones probably again in this preseason. If not in game 2, we will see them in the last week of the preseason, just as a little bit of a warm-up. A little bit of a warm-up there before we get into the regular season there. And then moving forward, I mean, we could be like Bear fans. Bear fans are going absolutely nuts. Caleb Williams. It was like, what was the one tweet I saw? I saw a boatload of tweets coming out of that. And I mean, it was, can't believe Caleb Williams is already the best quarterback in the league. Caleb Williams is taking the Bears to the Super Bowl. Happy Caleb Williams Day for all those who celebrated. And, I mean, I'm looking through all these, I'm like, okay, like, Bears fans are excited. They finally, like, saw something good. And I looked at the highlights. So that first drive, 4 completions for 95 yards. Okay, solid day. It's a preseason game. Just remember that. And his biggest yardage was 42 yards, which was a dump off to his running back who gained 40 of his 42 yards after the catch. He had 2-yard pass to his running back who gained 40 yards after. So 42 of those 95 yards. Great. I mean, great. That's fantastic. I'm glad. I'm honestly, I'm glad. It makes it so much better when the Packers and Bears play, when the Bears have a competitive team to put on the field. Like, it makes it so much better. I will for 2 seconds say that I hope Caleb Williams is good. I hope he is. I honestly I dislike watching football games when it's just a rout. I like competitive football games. So if Caleb Williams ends up being good or semi-good, all hats off to you. Because the Bears have a decent defense, right? We know they have a good defense. We know they have playmakers. Rome Odunze, they have DJ Moore, they have Keenan Allen. They have good weapons, right? DeAndre Swift in the backfield. They have good weapons. I hope he's good. What drives me absolutely nuts is when he has a drive. And then, you have to hear the Bears fans say, what did Jordan Love do today? Jordan Love had 1 pass. He went 2 for 2. He had 1 pass for 65 yards. Oh, you really saw a lot of Jordan Love. I'm sorry that he dotted one to Dontavian Wicks and he took it to the house. Like, sorry about that. Wish he could have put on more of a showcase for you. Like, I get it. Bears fans want to be excited. I want you to be excited, right? I want you to be excited. I want you to believe that you got a shot, right? I want you to believe that because then it makes beating them so much better, right? It makes the downfall of the Bears so much better at the end of the day. I just can't handle when it was one drive where he had a 42-yard pass with 40 yards coming after the catch, and we're sitting over here talking about him like he's going to be better than Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm sorry. Caleb Williams is not better than Patrick Mahomes. Caleb Williams right now doesn't even crack my top 10. He made some good throws. Okay. I've seen Justin Fields make good throws. I saw Blake Bortles make good throws. I saw Minshew make good throws. I've seen Johnny Manziel make good throws. Deshaun Watson can still make a good throw every once in a while. Very, very far and few between, but every once in a while. He made some good throws. Great. Let's see it now. 42 yards on a dump-off pass. That's what we're getting excited about. Like, oh, yeah, he flipped it. He flipped it straight forward, and there was his running back who took him 40 yards further. Like, great. Good job. I'm not here to diss him completely, right? I don't like the Bears. I don't like Caleb Williams. You guys all know that. But, man, oh, man, just settle in. Settle in here. Let's watch it for a little while longer. Let's see it against all the number ones in a real game that means something. Then, and only then, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that drive that he was just so good on ended in a field goal. Which, I mean, not bad, right? Not bad. I'm not going to say, having a drive in and a field goal is the worst thing in the world because points are points, right? At the end of the day, points are points. But he didn't punch him in. Didn't punch it in the end zone. Let's see it. Let's see it here in the regular season. Then, Bears fans, you can go all kinds of nuts. When Caleb Williams, they have a pretty easy schedule. But when Caleb Williams leads his team to a 10-6 record or a 12-5 or whatever it is, right? When he leads them to a winning season, he gets them into the number 1 spot in the NFC North, and they're talking about the Bears being a contender for the Super Bowl and running it all. then we'll talk. Right now, just settle down and watch football. Just settle down and watch football. Be glad it's back. And just relax. We haven't even seen it in a real game yet. So, with that, before we move on and get into the Brewers a little bit, because I do want to talk about that weekend series that they did have there with the Reds, I want to get to our great sponsors of the show here quick. First, Game Day Supply in Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Alaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, Pittsfield Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsfield Farm and Home Center in Pittsfield, Wisconsin. Marshfield Motor Speedway is located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Get down there this summer. Tons of family fun yet to be had. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Nothing better than a great summer day or night down at the track there. Marshfield Motor Speedways, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Sports Scene Sports Cards and Memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Get down there and see Al. He has everything you need from sporting cards, memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports Scene in Marshfield. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it was at work, whether you were mowing the lawn, playing with the kids, whatever you were doing, you felt something tear, pop, whatever it was, you went to your doctor, they said you better see a physical therapist. If they didn't mention to you Sport and Spine Clinic, I'm going to mention it to you right now. Get down there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. He'll get you right. He'll get you back to work, back mowing the lawn, back playing with them kids, feeling better than ever, and hopefully outrunning them for the first time in 10 years. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin there. So with that, before we get to the Brewers, I want to get to our fact of the day, and it's going to be with Trage. So our fact of the day today: the Green Bay Packers Football Club, founded by George Calhoun and Curly Lambeau, named after sponsor Indian Packing Company there. So they founded our favorite team, right? They founded our Packers on this day in 1999 or in 1919 there. Also in other sporting events that day, St. Louis Cardinals pitcher Ed Carter throws a perfect game versus Boston Doves, wins 4-0 in 7 innings at Robinson Field in St. Louis there. Okay, so just get us in the kind of the baseball mood. 17th NFL Chicago All-Star Game, All-Stars 17, Philadelphia 7. In that one there. That's about it. Babe Ruth in 1929 becomes the first MLB player to hit 500 home runs. He hits it off Willis Houdin in a 6-5 loss to the Indians in Cleveland there. So that's about it. And events today in sports history. So great stuff there. Great stuff coming out of the fact of the day there. So with that, let's get some Brewer talk. I know fact of the day, I'm not as good as what we'd usually get with Autumn there. She gives us some crazy fact. I give you sports facts. She gives us like McDonald's came out with a broccoli that was flavored like bubblegum. Probably gross, but good for them. Good for them there, right? I mean, just some crazy stuff there. So Brewers, they get the series win over the weekend. Ended up with a 5-game win streak there when it was all said and done. Really banking on that Sunday game to get 6 wins before the Dodgers game coming up today here. But a series win is a series win. That's all we can ask for. That's all I said I wanted the Brewers to do, and they did it for me. There. So Friday night, the Brewers bats continued this torrid stretch for, this game at least. Then next 2 games, offense kind of cooled off. Used too many runs against the Braves. That's all I can sum it up to. It seems like that's all we always say. right? My favorite thing, I'll always get, the Brewers will be up like, let's just say 15-1 or something. My grandma, she'll always text me. She'll tell me like, yeah, Brewers, she's always texting me during those. And then right after next game out, they'll lose like 1-0. And she'll text me. She'll always tell me they shouldn't have used all them runs against the Braves, right? She shouldn't have used all them runs. It's just something she always does. She always does. It's always great. So Brewers, they get 8 runs in this one, so didn't use them all up yet, right? 8-3 was the final in that one. Actually, the Reds out-hit the Brewers in this game, 9-7, but the Brewers used some timely and big bats in this one. Willie Adames stayed hot with another home run there, his 21st of the year. 3-run shot for Willie there in the first inning. And then we saw Bryce Terang go deep in this one. Both of them 1 hit in this one, but they were big ones, as we saw Terang have 2 RBIs, Willie have 3. Frelick came out with an RBI in this one, and so did Hoskins. Pretty even Steven, as you would call it, hitting in this one. Terang with a hit, Contreras with a hit, Adames with a hit, Frelick with a hit, Hoskins with a hit, Bowers with a hit, and also Joey Ortiz with a hit in this one and an RBI. Savali, I was calling for him to be the guy to get dubbed out of this rotation, to be the guy to go, bye, see you later, we don't need you in the rotation. Well, he gets his first Brewers win, and it was a productive day. 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in this one, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. The home run ball. It's always a home run ball for Savali. It's always the thing that does him dirty. And, well, it did it in this one. He gave up another home run, but like I said, 6 1/3, 2 earned runs. Not a bad day for Savali there. Nick Mears then came in for 2/3 of an innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, gave up a home run. Jared Koenig, an inning, 2 hits, 0s across the board, 1 strikeout. And then Yoel Payamps, 1 inning, and 0s across the board. Hopefully, this is signs of Yoel Payamps slowly starting to figure it out and getting his mojo back, right? Got to get that mojo back there. Runners in scoring position, 3 for 8 in this one. Brewers left 4 guys on base in this game here. That's always been the problem. Leaving guys on base and timely hitting. Brewers been getting better as of late here. So hopefully that is good signs moving forward here. So then we move into the Saturday game, and this is where the offense needed it all, and they needed their slugger that they signed in the offseason to come up big for them. Rhys Hoskins delivers with a home run, a solo shot in this one, and that was the difference in the bottom of the 8th. This is what we paid him for. This is what we wanted him for. The big moments, right? One of the most iconic postseason moments for the Phillies, for Rhys Hoskins. This guy, big-time hitter. We know it. We know he's a big moment hitter. That's what we've seen out of him. That's what we saw in this moment here. Rhys Hoskins delivers with a solo shot. Brewers only end up with 2 hits in this game. Rhys Hoskins had a hit. Gary Sanchez had a hit. Outside of that, ain't much happening in this game. Ain't much happening in this game whatsoever. For the Reds, Martinez pitched well. 7 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks in this game. Martinez pitched well, and then it ended up being Santillan that gave up the 1 run, the Hoskins bomb late in this one, but otherwise shut the door. Shut the door on this Brewers team. 3 hits for the Reds, 2 for the Brewers in this one. 1-0 was the final, and I don't know if it was just me, but was anybody else watching Devin Williams pitch out there and saying, he's back? Was anybody else out there they're watching Devin Williams, mowing him down in that 9th inning, and you kind of just said to yourself, this is Devin Williams. Like, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for Devin Williams to finally get back and be Devin Williams again. This one felt like it was Devin Williams. This felt like Devin Williams. The strikeout stuff, the changeup. It just felt like Devin Williams was back. And that's all I could say when I was watching him. I'm like, he's back. He's back. Good luck. Good luck. Devin Williams is feeling it. He's feeling it. And this one was great. Yoel Payamps, like I said, he's slowly starting to find it again. 2/3 of an inning there, 1 strikeout. Tobias Myers has been freaking fantastic. I don't care who you are. This dude might actually be, if the Brewers, and when they make the postseason, knocking on wood there, right? You got to knock on wood. When they make the postseason, Tobias Myers might be the game 1 starter. Like, I'll be honest with you. Tobias Myers might be the game 1 starter. 7 1/3 inning, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts. He got that ERA down to 2.79. This guy has been nothing but fantastic. for the Brewers. Nothing short of fantastic as of late here. After they brought him up, transitioned him kind of the bullpen, had him up and down, and then brought him back. And since then, this guy has been just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I think, a lot of the national media is all over, and I mean, rightfully so. Paul Skeens this, Paul Skeens that, Paul Skeens everything. I want to see Tobias Myers, Paul Skeens square off. I do. I want to see him in a pitcher's duel because Tobias Myers has been fantastic. Now, the Reds' offense might not be able to back Paul Skeens. They have gotten a little bit better, right? But I'm high on Tobias Myers. I'm high on Tobias Myers there. So great stuff there out of Myers in game 2 of this series here for the Brewers, getting him, a phenomenal pitching performance there. Game 3 kind of confused me, to be honest with you. Brewers got up early, 2-0, ended up going down 3-2, got that run back in the 6th there at the bottom of the 6th, and then Joe Ross came in. And Joe Ross ended up being the guy who lost this game for the Brewers. 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run in this one, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Not a bad day out of Joe Ross. Brewers offense just couldn't find him a run there late. But with the lack of usage of the bullpen over the weekend, I was kind of confused by the usage of Joe Ross in this one. It wasn't like you were trying to lengthen out the game there, but you were in the 6th inning. Like you were in the 7th inning now. I would have gone to I don't know if, Brian Hudson's not there yet. And, you don't have Trevor McGill, but I would have gone to my higher leverage guys, maybe Canning, right? Maybe Canning in that situation. Puguero, maybe, right? I can't say Puguero's that much better, but Joe Ross comes in. And, yeah, you're not going to completely just shoot Pat Murphy and say it was the worst managerial decision in the world. But I was, it wasn't like the bullpen usage over the weekend was that heavy, right? Because we did see Savali in game 1. He went into the game a decent way, 6 1/3. Tobias Myers goes 7 1/3. The bullpen wasn't really taxed. Now you look ahead and you say, okay, you got a 4-game series with Dodgers. You have the Cleveland Guardians after that. You want to have your bullpen rested. Maybe that has a factor in it, right? Simply because it is the Sunday game. You already won the series. Maybe you're just hoping the offense can find the runs. I agree with that factor of it. I guess I was just confused on the Joe Ross usage in that one. I guess I was just, I don't think we needed to use them, but they did. Right, end of the day, they did. They lose game 3 of the series 4-3. That was the deciding run in this one. 5 hits for the Brewers, 6 for the Reds in that game there. The big run late was the difference, like I said. Sanchez hitting this one. Contreras, Adames, both of the hit. Ortiz did have that 2-run home run. And then we did see Monasterio get a hit in this one here. Rhys Hoskins, after this series, Hoskins is playing better as of late. 321 over the last 7 games and 304 over the last 15. Hoskins has been hitting the ball. Hopefully this is good news moving forward because, like I said, you got 7-game stretch against 2 top teams in baseball. So it's going to be a tough stretch for the Brewers. Hopefully, all good things to come there out of that. We did see DL Hall make his return from the IL, from his rehab assignment there. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, 1 home run given up. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a great performance. Not a bad performance. A good performance out of DL Hall. And that's what we wanted to see, was a good performance out of DL Hall. The fastball up at 95. That's what we want to see, was the velocity come back. The breaking stuff was good in this one. 9 strikeouts. Solid day. Mears comes in for an inning and a third. 0 is 1 strikeout. And then, like I said, Joe Ross. 3 innings, 1 earned run. Not a bad outing out of Joe Ross at all. I'm not completely knocking Joe Ross in this one. Not a bad outing at all out of Joe Ross with that 1 earned run. Not bad. Not bad at all there. Brewers 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. 4 guys left on base. Weren't really putting traffic on the base paths. Not a lot of hits to go around. Not a lot of traffic on the base paths. That's all you can say. That's all you can say for that one. So, Dodgers coming up tonight here, 7:10 start from American Family Field. We get to see the man, the myth, the legend. Clayton Kershaw is going to be squaring off with Fastball Freddy. Fastball Freddy and Clayton Kershaw. Can you ask for a better Game 1 matchup at American Family Field there? I don't think so. I can't wait. I can't wait for this one. Great one coming up tonight here, 7:10 start. Like I said, for that one, you can catch it Valley Sports Wisconsin. Otherwise, if you're on the road, if you're, don't want to listen to Valley Sports, if you don't get Valley Sports, WTMJ 620, turn it on. Maybe Bob's going to be in the house, right? Bob Euchre will be there. I don't know if Brian Anderson's going to be on TV, so you might have Jeff Levering, otherwise Lane Grindle on the radio there. So, with that, that's about all I got. That's about all I got for today. I said we're going to be a shorter one today, and it never ends up that way. It never ends up that way. We always find something to carry on about right on the show here. So, with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. But until I talk to you guys again tomorrow, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river. Oh, bury me, carry me, oh.